Bread prices have been falling as consumers switch back to pap. However, the South African Chamber of Baking says this won't last for long. Consumers have been calling for bread to be zero-rated since the increase of VAT by 1%. South African consumers have been spared the stress of spending more on their staple as the bread prices take a plunge. Bread producers like Pioneer Foods, producer of SACB bread, felt the pinch as their profit margins declined due to weaker demand in a more competitive environment. Jeff Penny, Executive Director of the South African Chamber of Baking, says there are a number of contributing factors.
I think it's largely free market driven. There is additional capacity that's been created in the industry in the last 2 years. Plus there are a number of new entrants, a lot of smaller players who often enter the market and work at a very low profit margin, if anything, and it tends to disrupt the market.
Penny says the recent fall in bread consumption in the country could be attributed to a good maize harvest, resulting in South Africans switching back to porridge as it's become more affordable.
We had this major drought in the country which affected maize over the last 2 years. And a year ago, the price of maize was considerably higher, almost double what it is today. And because it was imported and we were paying in dollars. And that affected the price of millie meal. And the consumers then switched to bread, many of them. But as we know, last year we had a bumper maize crop. And the price of maize has almost halved, the price of millie meal has come down, and those consumers have switched back to eating millie pop and are consuming less bread.
The Pietermaritzburg Agency for Community Social Action says there's been an increase in the number of people buying bread when drought pushed the maize price higher. According to Stats SA, the price of a 700-gram brown bread in March 2018 was 11 rand 53 cents, 65 cents cheaper than the price in July last year. White bread fell from 13 rand 41 cents to 12 rand 95 cents.